So one thing I'm getting better at this vlogging thing is tuning out the noise and just being comfortable filming in public. Obviously, if you're going to be a vlogger, especially a Vegas vlogger, you've got to get used to that. That's me, sitting in a Vegas hotel room by myself talking to a camera. And why? Well, about 2.5 years ago, my beautiful wife Ashton, that's her, and I decided to do something that didn't make a whole lot of sense. We decided to start a YouTube channel focused on a city that we didn't even live in. In fact, our home is 1,500 miles away. And so, sometimes we find ourselves doing Vegas a little differently than we did before. You know what? Let's just cut to 3 days earlier. What's up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas. Hey, when you live 1,500 miles away from the city that is the focus of your YouTube channel, sometimes you gotta step out of vacation mode and take a business trip, and that's what I'm doing, going alone. This is actually the 3rd time I've done this alone now. Geez, I swear sometimes I never shut up.
So me think, why waste time? Say lot word when few word do trick.
Good point, Kev. Let's just cue the arrival montage with a cool song and get to Vegas. Here, this one ought to do the trick. Alright, the flight was completely uneventful. I'm here in Vegas and it's time to get this thing started. In this video, I'm going to show you what it's like behind the scenes to go to Vegas for 4 nights and try to film 12 YouTube videos. 4 nights, 3 different hotels. It's going to be fun, it's going to be exhausting, and let's go. Alright, I'm in Vegas, so what do I do first? Okay, first things first, I'm going to film some B-roll and take a bunch of clips of myself talking to the camera that I'm later just going to delete and you guys don't even get to hear. Yeah, some of them are pretty bad. Then I'm going to grab an Uber to my first hotel, and I say first hotel because yeah, on a 3 or 4 night trip to Vegas by myself, I'm going to have to stay in at least 3 different hotels because, well, that's what content creation is all about. Alright, I've made it to my first hotel. I am full of energy. I'm in Vegas. I'm ready to go. It's time to check in. Oh. I had an absolute disaster of a check-in experience here at the Link. Go figure. Caesars has not gotten better at the check-in process. Actually, I think they're getting worse. If you want to hear that entire experience, or at least the Cliff's Notes version, that's at the end of the Link video. I put that one out right after this trip. Long story short, I spent more than an hour trying to get into the room that I booked and I didn't do it. They did upgrade me to the suite, which was nice. When you're in Vegas for a vlogging trip, you're going to have to do a live stream or 2, and that's what I did last night, a 3-hour live stream on the channel. For about the first half of it, I had Julian of Vegas Confessions podcast on with me, and he co-piloted, and we walked and talked. Had a good time. If you want to see that live stream, check that out. That's archived out there on the channel as well. Okay, clearly I was a little bit tired from the night before. Sometimes I watch these clips back and they're just kind of embarrassing. The live stream was a blast. Jay, if you're watching right now, it was fun. Let's do it again sometime soon. But for now, what's the agenda for today? As far as today goes, here's what it's like to vlog in Las Vegas when you're here specifically for that purpose. I'm actually checking into 2 different hotels today. I'm going to take my suitcase to one of them, and then I'm going to move some of my clothes into a backpack, and I'm going to just take the backpack to the other hotel. I also have to hit up 2 different restaurants, well, 1 restaurant and 1 buffet for the purposes of making videos. I still have a room tour to do in this room. I still have to go to the pool here at the Link. I still have to film around the casino, and I still have a lot to do. It's not exactly going to be a relaxing day, but hey, this is what I signed up for. Geez, cry me a river. You'll be glad to know that I did get through this, and I went to that other hotel, which was New York Hotel and Casino.
Start spreading the news.
The first order of business is always the room tour because that room is never going to look again as good as it did when you first walked in. The room is set the camera up, talk to it some more, and then change clothes and get ready for dinner, but not just any dinner. When you're on a trip like this, you almost can't just have a nice meal. You've got to do it for YouTube. Coincidentally, I'm going to a place where I can get all the crab legs I want and a whole lot more. They just raised the price of the Bacchanal buffet to $85 per person for dinner. Filming and eating a Vegas buffet in less than 90 minutes is a little bit difficult. Check that video out if you haven't seen it. Stressful, yes, but there are some things that make it kind of fun. I'm getting better at just tuning out the noise. You've got to be able to sit down at a restaurant by yourself, put a camera up on a tripod and just talk to it and know that other people are definitely looking at you. Something that can be kind of cool about that though is it leads to conversations. For instance, the other night at the Bacchanal buffet, I spoke to both of my neighbors as I was sitting there filming myself eating. Both asked me if I was a YouTuber, which always makes me kind of laugh because I don't really feel like I am, but of course you're watching this right now, so I guess I would be wrong. And one of the two actually said, "Is it Show Me Vegas?" If you see us out and about in Vegas, don't hesitate to come up and say hi. We always love to meet subscribers, and it's always fun to find out that people actually do watch this. After dinner, I stuck around to shoot some B-roll. Sometimes we use stock footage in these videos, but I love to use my own B-roll if possible, and I was pretty proud of this shot I got of Caesar's Palace in the twilight. And then there's this clip that has amateur content creator written all over it. You know, one of the things about being a vlogger is you wind up with a huge volume of video clips that you've got to store somewhere. This clip got lost along the way somewhere when I changed phones, and the only backup I had was this low quality version. No, there's not a filter on it, I just lost the full resolution. So one thing I'm finding out on this trip is that making vlogs is hard, but making a vlog about making vlogs is even harder. I have hardly found time to do any of that. So far I've been in Vegas for about 30 hours and I've filmed 4 videos in their entirety. Of course the editing process comes in later, but I am absolutely exhausted, and now I'm gonna go check into my second hotel in the same day. Now I got in here to Horseshoe tonight a little bit later this time, and I finally... That second hotel of the day was the Horseshoe, and by the time I got settled in my room it was after 9 o'clock, but you don't have a choice but to set up the camera and talk to it some more. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even want to be at the Horseshoe at all, but I had already booked and paid for the room and I wasn't getting that money back, so I pressed on and stayed there. I made a video about it, of course. If you want to check that one out, be sure and do that because I actually had a pretty good stay. No worries, I've got less than 2 hours until I have to be out of here, and I've still got to go check out the pool. It's already over 100 degrees outside, so perfect pool day. Pool days are not a lot of fun when you're solo and trying to vlog the pool area. If you're lucky, you might grab a cocktail, sit down in a lounge chair for a little bit, but getting in the water is almost out of the question. If you're by yourself at the pool and they don't have lockers, it's kind of tough to want to leave your phone and your driver's license and all that stuff at a pool chair and just trust that nobody's going to take it while you're in the water. So if you're lucky, the property will have pool lockers like they did at New York, New York. I was able to put my stuff in there and actually enjoy the pool a little bit, but out of the 3 pool days I had on this trip, I literally only spent about 30 minutes relaxing. Now I said, what do you do with your stuff? What stuff am I talking about? Well, let's take a look at what an amateur vlogger uses on a daily basis. So I thought it might be kind of fun to show you guys the tools of the trade here. This is what I travel with. I've got more stuff than I need, and sometimes honestly I don't even use half of it on a trip, but I bring it with me anyway. Starting over here, assorted grips. I got a pistol grip, a selfie stick, a little tripod here. Both of these have an attachment for my iPhone on them right now, but I can mount any of my cameras to those. This is a DJI Osmo Mobile gimbal for my phone. That's what clips in here. Usually use that, well, I always use it for live streams, but sometimes other things. GoPro Hero 8 Black. This does not have a front-facing screen, so I have to have this attachment for that. This is actually pretty good, but I don't find myself using it as often as I want to. Biggest reason I bought it was because it's waterproof, and I have never used it in the water. Right here are some wireless mics. Right here is a wireless mic system that I really like, but it's a little bit bulky, so you've got to have it attached, you know, on the side of your tripod or something like that with a cord. It's kind of a pain, so I don't use that as much as I should, probably. Of course, I got the MacBook back there. That's what I edit on. This is my Sony ZV E10 camera that I use for most of the stuff in the room. This is supposed to be a really good vlogging camera for a decent price, but I find myself using my phone almost more than I use that. Bought it mostly because it does better in low light than the phone, but it's kind of a pain to carry that around. And then this was far too expensive.
That is a gimbal for mirrorless cameras, so I mount that Sony camera on this. And while I love it, it's really cool, it probably wasn't worth the cost because I find myself pretty much only using it for room tours. This has been a game changer. This is a wireless mic system by Movo. They sent me this. I wanted to get my opinion on it, and I absolutely love it. As you can see, this plugs right into my iPhone, and then this pairs up with it. It pairs up in seconds, and it gets great audio. That has made my phone probably my most useful vlogging tool. And then, of course, I got a bag here with tons of assorted cords and stuff. And this is what the desk or nightstand always winds up looking like in a room. My charging station.
So last night I stayed here at New York, New York. The night before was at Horseshoe. Lucky for me, it's the last day and it's 9 o'clock in the morning and I only have to just wrap up 2 videos and I'm done for this thing. Thank goodness, because I was freaked out about a day and a half ago thinking I wasn't going to get half of what I wanted to done. Despite being down to just 2 videos left, I've got a big day ahead of me, so I've got to get going. I'm going to ride the roller coaster today as many times as I can possibly get on because I've got an all-day Scream Pass, so that's going to be fun. The rest of that day was the closest I got to vacation on this trip. I wound up running around town using my Vegas rewards to make a video and show you guys what you can score for free. Be sure and check that video out as well. But that was actually quite a bit of fun and not so much work. Although I will say by the 10th, 11th, and 12th times around the roller coaster, it did seem a little bit taxing. On my way through parking. Well, here we are, guys, and my energy level is very, very low at this point. This is the last night. It's after 10 p.m. on Thursday, the 4th night of my trip. It's a 4-night trip, and my flight leaves to go home at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. This was, I would say, a successful YouTube trip to Las Vegas. I do believe if the footage all turns out that I've met my goal of 9 videos out of this trip. It wasn't easy, it never is easy, and nothing about YouTube or being a vlogger is really easy if you want to do it well. It does pay a little bit of money, but let me tell you, at this level, it does not cover your expenses or especially the time invested. It's a labor of love, but we enjoy doing it, and hopefully you guys enjoy watching it. And the fact that I ran into at least half a dozen subscribers on this trip who came up and introduced themselves to me and told me that they watch our videos tells me at least it's a little bit worthwhile. Hey, that's it for this one, guys. I don't know if it was entertaining or informative. Probably wasn't informative. Hopefully it was at least a little bit entertaining. I know there was a lot of me sitting in front of the camera like this talking, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you get notified anytime videos come out in the future. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you in the next video because there's always more for us to show you on Show Me Vegas.